Okay, I've done a video on how to make these candles, but I think I'll go through it quickly again. And the main focus is actually to show you this option that I think is really cool, the wick, what you can use for it. Now, in the previous video, I was talking about a toothpick, and I was looking in the cupboards. I couldn't find a toothpick. I've moved home now. I couldn't find a toothpick, and I was kind of looking all around, frustrated. I couldn't find a thin little stick. And then I looked in the cupboard and we had spaghetti. So this is spaghetti. Everyone will be familiar with it before it's cooked, of course. So you can get spaghetti. It's lovely, thin, and it actually works brilliantly. I don't know why I haven't thought of it before. So what we're going to do is we have this salt, which is the coarse salt. Okay, so that's coarse. It's almost like rock salt, but a pack like this is about 13 Rand or for a kilogram. So fill a container up. There's a little black mark on the outside. I just grabbed this little glass here. So we're going to fill whichever container you're going to do the candle in about a third of the way up, and the rest is going to be oil. The reason for that is that the more oil we have in, the longer it's going to carry on burning. If we put the salt right up to the top and just a little bit of oil, when the oil burns, it's going to start burning onto the salt, and then we're going to keep replacing oil and so forth. But it's your choice as to which direction you want to go. So the goal is to get a piece of this spaghetti. Let me show you how I calculate the height of it. And this is just, I was just playing around with this. This is cotton wool. So you just take normal cotton wool. You can have it from any source. Can be from an earbud, top of an earbud, or this kind of cotton wool. Yeah, and then I'm using olive oil from Opsoek. This is finest cold pressed extra virgin olive oil from Opsoek Valley Farm, Zoar, Ladysmith in South Africa, courtesy of Nathan Overmeyer. He brought this to us as a gift. So I'm going to make a candle, salt and oil candle, using this olive oil. You can use avocado oil or coconut oil. The thing is, with coconut oil, what is really cool is that when it's warm, then it's in the liquid form. When it gets cold, it can solidify. So sometimes I would put it in, warm it up, throw it in, like I'm going to use the olive oil, put it in the fridge, and it gets solidified. It turns white, almost looking like a solid wax candle. But as it starts to burn, the oil melts, and then you have that kind of effect. Okay, so here we're coming on. How do we get the proper size? My recommendation is you take, in this case, we've got our spaghetti, and put it against the side of the container, because you want to measure the height at which you've got to break off this area for the use of the wick. Now, try not to go and break it off higher here, because you're thinking of it sticking out so you can light it, because the level of the oil will always be at the level of this glass and probably a millimeter or two off the edge of the glass. And you want the wick just to be proud of that oil, just a little bit on top, and that's going to give you the optimal setting. So you're going to go push it down the side, and you'll check here. So I can grab my fingers, or I can judge where that is, lean it against the side. So it's approximately there. So if I break that off, I'm going to jab, jab, jab to get it to the base, and that's what we're looking at. Okay, so it's going to be positioned there. And if you're like me, just make sure you get it nicely in the middle, else when the thing is burning and the oil and everything's in, then you're going to look at it and think, oh, it's slightly off center and all that. But if that doesn't bother you, that's okay. So we've got the piece here. Now let me just move that out of the way. We've got the piece of spaghetti that we are going to use. And we're going to take a piece of cotton wool, just a little cotton wool ball. There we go. So we're getting it to kind of fluff, because we're going to now take the spaghetti and put it around the spaghetti and just roll it nicely on. You're going to eventually get the hang of it, of how to just keep it lightly. Don't press too hard. So that's the idea. You don't press hard, because if you pinch it and you turn it, it tears loose again. So you just keep it lightly, and you roll it through your fingers like that. and that's what you're looking at. Okay, so we're going to take that gently again in the middle. Let's stomp it down to the base, and there we go. So that's what you're looking at. Now you notice it's standing a little bit proud of the glass here, but that's the cotton wool that extends beyond there. That's why I was saying, when you get the height of the spaghetti or the toothpick that you want to use, or whatever piece of wood you want to use, make sure that you get it at the level here, because the starting off point is the cotton wool will extend a little bit right at the start, which is what you want. Okay, so let's go, and we're going to put the olive oil in, and it's going to seep in. And remember, once you get it to the area there, you're going to have the tip of this also with oil, because the idea is of an oil candle, oil and salt candle, is via capillary action, the oil seeps through the cotton wool, and when it's burning here, it pulls up the extra oil, and that vaporizes, and there's combustion happening, and then you have the flame happening. So the cotton wool plays the role of pulling up the oil. The flame will heat it, it vaporizes, the flame burns, it combusts, and the inside spaghetti keeps the role of keeping that cotton wool in place there, rigidly. If you didn't have some support there, you're going to find out that it's going to just dissolve and all flip down. If you want to use a wick, a candle wick, chances are that it could stand still stiff if you have it solid, but sometimes because it's just the wick, it could sort of tilt over. So rather have something rigid like this. And what is great about this is once you get down, if it burns down to an area, you always can top it up. But if it starts to get maybe a bit, you can just trim the wick, pull the little piece a bit higher, and you sort it out. So I'm not sure if I mentioned, but get the salt up to about 1/3 of the glass, and then it will stabilize the actual spaghetti that goes in there. And yeah, let's see how it goes. And I could also suggest, try and use a lighter like this when you light. You can use matches, but sometimes if you're busy using a match and you're tilting it down, the match burns and burns your fingers. So this is about a nice, just for convenience. So let's go, and we are going to pour. What I do is I pour over the wick. Then I know it's already saturated with the oil. So there we go. That's it. And then when that's wet, I just keep pouring. And you can just hang on there. You can see there now how it seeps through. Beautiful. And the nice thing is, if you have like a kind of opaque glass or a clear glass, it looks the best because you see the beauty of the oil. If it's a dark color glass, you tend to miss that beauty, although it looks beautiful in any case. I just like the I need to wipe off the excess here. Okay, so there we are. We have actually, this wick is a bit high up here. It's going to make a bigger size flame, but okay, that is fine for now. So there we have the cotton wool extending, and I can see that it's soaked because I threw some of the oil over it. But if I didn't throw the oil off, I would have to wait a few seconds for the oil to seep up. It naturally seeps up. Okay, so are we ready for the light? Here we go. There's still a couple of bubbles coming because the oil is still seeping down in between the salt. So there, if we light this, there we go. And that's our candle. Now, because I have it slightly proud, a whole section sticking out of the oil, I didn't do the job as I explained too clearly. That whole area will start to burn eventually, and it will make quite a big light. But look at the beautiful consistency of the light. It really works very well. The olive oil is phenomenal because it doesn't smoke. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, they don't smoke that much. You can use any oil basically. A lot of people would use cooking oil like canola oil, but I don't cook even with the canola oil. I don't cook with seed oil and vegetable oil, you know, the manufactured ones, because of it. For me, it's not very healthy. So I don't cook with it, and I wouldn't put it into a candle also, because there's basically, if there's any fumes, you're going to, you know, inhale that. The other thing that you can do is drop a few drops of essential oils in here, and that could give you a nice fragrance for the place. But there we are, beautiful candle, and all it took was a bit of spaghetti, a bit of salt, a bit of cotton and oil. Well, the only thing that is not edible here is the cotton oil, because you can eat the spaghetti, you can eat the salt, and you can eat the olive oil. So yeah, hopefully that encourages you to get on board and start making these beautiful candles and enjoy them. So yeah, have a blessed day and shalom to everybody. That is your salt and olive oil candle.